ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ ಹರಿ ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶಾಯ ನಮಃ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಾತ್ರೇ ನಮಃ ಶ್ರೀಮದ್ ದೇವಿ ಭಾಗವತ Maha Puranam, an overview or an understanding or an introduction. We are all too small to talk about Devi and Devi Bhagavatam, but an attempt has been made to introduce the structure and the contents of Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam. This will enable the chanters to chant more focusedly and get the complete blessings of Sri Devi. ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ ಗುರು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಗುರು ವಿಷ್ಣು ಗುರುದೇವೋ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರಃ ಗುರು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ತಸ್ಮೈ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರವೇ ನಮಃ ಗುರವೇ ಸರ್ವಲೋಕಾನಾಂ ವಿಷಜೇ ಭವರೋಗಿಣಾಂ ನಿಧಯೇ ಸರ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಾಂ ಶ್ರೀ ದಕ್ಷಿಣಾಮೂರ್ತಯೇ ನಮಃ ಗಜಾನನಂ ಭೂತಗಣಾತಿಸೇವಿತಂ ಕಪಿತ್ತಜಂಬೂಫಲಸಾರಭಕ್ಷಿತಂ ಉಮಾಸುತಂ ಶೋಕವಿನಾಶಕಾರಣಂ ನಮಾಮಿ ವಿಘ್ನೇಶ್ವರಪಾದಪಂಕಜಂ ವ್ಯಾಸಂ ವಸಿಷ್ಠನಪ್ತಾರಂ ಶಕ್ತೆ ಪೌತ್ರಮಕಲ್ಮಷಂ ಪರಾಶರಾತ್ಮಜಂ ವಂದೇ ಶುಕತಾತಂ ತಪೋನಿಧಿಂ. Our humble pranams to all our gurus. Sri Parashakti, Sri Devi has different forms, different names in different regions, but it is no need to stress, no need to understand that she is one and only one. In Tamil Nadu she is called as Kanchi Kamakshi, Madurai Meenakshi, etc. In Kerala Bhagavati, in Karnataka Chamundi, in Maharashtra Tulasa Bhavani, Gujarat Ambaji, in Panchalam Jwalamukhi, in Uttar Pradesh Kashi Vishalakshi, in Kashmir Kshira Bhavani Vaishnavi, in West Bengal Kali, in Assam Kamakhya. In whatever name, whatever form we call her, she is only one, Nirguna Nirupa Brahmam. It is for the devotees' understanding, devotees' sake, she takes different forms and addressed in different names. Sri Vedavyasa is the person, is the Rishi who gave us all the 4 Vedas, compiled 4 Vedas, and also wrote 18 Mahapuranas, 18 Upapuranas. In addition to all this, he wrote Mahabharatam. It is an Ithikasam and also called as 5th Vedam. It contains 1 lakh plus slokas, and one of the Puranas, Skanda Puranam, also has 1 lakh slokas. He is considered as a 17th incarnation of Mahavishnu. Normally, we all know 10 Maha Avatarams of Mahavishnu, but Shrimad Bhagavatam 1.3.21 says Sri Vishnu had 24 avatars, and Vedavyasa is his 17th incarnation. Srimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam was first narrated by Vedavyasa himself to King Janamejaya. King Janamejaya was the son of King Parikshit. Parikshit was the son of Abhimanyu, and Abhimanyu was son of Arjuna. Sri Devi Bhagavatam 1.3.2 to 12 to 1.3.2 to 18 narrates, lists down 18 Mahapuranas and a number of slokas in each Puranam. Similarly, Srimad Vishnu Bhagavatam also lists 18 Mahapuranas in the last skandam 12, 7, 23 and 24. Again, number of slokas, verses in each Mahapurana is also mentioned in Srimad Vishnu Bhagavatam 12.13.4 to 12.13.9. Further, Sri Devi Bhagavatam lists 18 Upapuranas in 1.3.13 to 1.3.16. In both the lists of Mahapuranas and Upapurana, both in Vishnu Bhagavatam and Devi Bhagavatam, one name called Bhagavatam with 18,000 slokas is mentioned. Obviously, one is Sri Vishnu Bhagavatam and the other one is Sri Devi Bhagavatam. the dispute between which is Mahapuranam, which is Upapuranam, either Sri Vishnu Bhagavatam is Mahapuranam or Devi Bhagavatam is Mahapuranam. This dispute goes on for a long time. That which is out of beyond our purview now. Vishnu Bhagavatam is so popular and so famous, and not Sri Devi Bhagavatam, because all the Devi shlokas, Devi stotras are supposed to be secretive, Gupta, Guhya. Also, one who got initiated with Navaktari Japam is only eligible to do Parayanam of Devi Bhagavatam and also Chandi Parayanam. But there is no other restriction as caste, creed, religion, sex, etc. But also, there is no restriction of Navaktari Jabam, etc. to hear the others doing the Parayanam. Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam contains much old material, but it mentions names as Mauryas, Hunas, Mlechas and Yavanas, etc. Clearly so, it must be a late Purana coupled between 600 CE and 1000 CE. This was commented upon by Nilakanta Dikshadhar in 18th century. There might have existed earlier commentaries also. The great Bhaskara Raya is said to have popularized Devi Bhagavatam in South India. Devi Bhagavatam and Vishnu Bhagavatam are complementary to each other, and hence both can be considered as Mahapuranas. Both Sri Devi and Mahavishnu have shown us Virat forms, Vishwarupams. In Mahabharatam, Lord Krishna advised Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna and showed Vishwarupam Virat form. Similarly, in Devi Bhagavatam, Skandam 7:31 to 40, 10 chapters are called as Devi Gita, and Sri Devi herself showed the Virat form or Vishwarupa to all Devas. Hence, there is no difference between Sri Devi and Lord Mahavishnu, and I say similarly, there is no difference between Devi Bhagavatam and Vishnu Bhagavatam. In different Puranas or different stories, we read origin about every god or devata, like birth of Ganesha, birth of Lord Subramanya, birth of Ayyappa, birth of Rama, birth of Krishna, etc. In some cases, the end is also known. Rama's end going back to Vaikundam, and Krishna's end going back to Vaikundam, etc. But for Shiva, Lord Shiva, Lord Narayana and Shakti Devi, no origin is mentioned in any of the Puranas, and hence there cannot be an end also. They are Anadi. Actually, they are in Nirupa Nirguna form of Brahman. There is no form, no characters for them. It is for our sake, for devotees' sake, different forms or different characters are being added to the stories for us to easily understand and realize the gods. For example, in the Shankara Narayana form of Lord Shiva, left half of Shiva is Narayana. In the Ardhanarishwara form of Lord Shiva, left half of Shiva is Devi. That means Lord Shiva, Narayana and Shakti are all one and the same Brahman. Brahman Ekaha. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam has 12 skandams, 318 chapters and 18,476 shlokas. In Skanda Puranam, we have the Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Mahatmyam explaining the greatness of Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam, and also chanting of the results of chanting Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam in 5 chapters containing 382 shlokas. It is normally chant before the start of Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam. Devi Bhagavata Mahatmyam is first chant, and then Srimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam Moola Paranam is done. According to the Bhagavatam, Vishnu Bhagavatam and Devi Bhagavatam, Srimad Vishnu Bhagavatam also should have 18,000 slokas. But presently we have Srimad Vishnu Bhagavatam in 12 skandhas with 341 chapters and with 14,609 slokas. The number of chapters and number of shlokas in each of the skandams of the Srimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam is mentioned here. It can be observed that including the Mahatmyam, there are 323 chapters and 18,858 shlokas of the total, out of which the ninth skandam with 50 chapters and 3,619 shlokas is the biggest, and the second chapter with 12 chapters and 724 shlokas is the smallest one. It is normal practice to do the Moola Parayanam of Srimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam in 9 days, what is called as Navaha Parayana Kramam. And each day, where to start and where to end is clearly mentioned here. Each day, each chapter, up to which skandam, which sloka and all. Who decided this? Who prescribed this? Veda Vyasa narrated the story of Srimad Devi Bhagavatam to Janamejaya king in this form. He only prescribed, he only standardized the Parayanam of the Srimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam in 9 days in this format, and all of us continue to follow the same. Without entering into the debate of which is Mahapuranam, which is Upapuranam, a comparison of Srimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam and Srimad Vishnu Bhagavata Maha Puranam is given here. Both has something called Mahatmyam, explaining the greatness of chanting the same, and Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam Mahatmyam is available in Skanda Purana with 5 chapters and 382 slokas, and Vishnu Bhagavata Maha Purana Mahatmyam is available in Padma Puranam with 6 chapters and 504 verses. Both Devi Bhagavatam and Vishnu Bhagavatam have 12 skandhas, and Devi Bhagavatam has 318 chapters and Vishnu Bhagavatam has 335 chapters. 18,476 slokas are available in Devi Bhagavatam and 14,105 slokas are available in Vishnu Bhagavatam. Devi Bhagavatam was first narrated by Vedavyasa to King Janamejaya, and Vishnu Bhagavatam was first narrated by Shukar to King Parikshit. Shukar is son of Vyasa and Parikshit is father of Janamejaya. Srimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Purana Mahatmyam forms part of Sri Skanda Puranam, which is also written by Vedavyasa. It has 5 chapters and 382 slokas. It gives a glory of Devi and Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, and also gives the results of chanting Devi Bhagavata slokas. One important result story mentioned in the same is Sri Krishna in search of Shamantaka Mani went into the forest and for a long time didn't return, and Nandagopa his father was worried and chant Srimad Devi Bhagavata for 9 days, and at the end of 9th day Sri Krishna returned. And the last chapter of the Mahatmyam narrates the Shravana Vidhi, how to make a Pauranika to chant the Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam Moolam, and what are the duties we have to offer him, and what are the duties the person to hears. Sravanam is to hear. Sravana Vidhi, what are the rules prescribed to hear the Mula Parayana done by the Pauranika? Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam Skandam 1 contains 20 chapters with 1189 slokas. It deals with various details about different Puranas, Mahapurana 18, Mahapuranas 18, Upapuranas, etc. Talks about Devi's glory and killing of Madhu and Kaitapa by Mahavishnu. This story is also dealt with in Chandi Parayana, first chapter. This Devi Bhagavatam is a superset of the Durga Saptashati slokas, 700 slokas. All the stories dealt with in Chandi or Durga Saptashati are dealt with in Devi Bhagavatam also, but with more details, and hence it can be called as superset. And it deals with Pururava's stories, Shuka's birth, Shuka Brahman, son of Vedavyasa, his birth, Shuka going to Mithila, and Janaka's advice to him to get married and get a son. Then origin of Devi Bhagavatam and birth of Dhritarashtra are all dealt with in Skandam 1. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam Skandam 2. This contains 12 chapters with 724 slokas. This talks about story of Parasarar, father of Vedavyasa, story of Pandava's birth, extinction of Yadukulam of Krishna, Parikshit's death by the bite of Dakshaka snake, and glory of Shrimad Devi Bhagavatam. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Purana Skandam 3 contains 30 chapters with 1748 slokas, and Janamejaya asking various clarifications to Vyasa, Narada's description of Devi Bhuvaneshwari and her worship, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva see Devi and praise her, story of Satyavratas, nature of three gunas, Sattva guna, Tamo guna and Rajoguna, stories of Vishwamitra, Sudarsana Chakra, etc., worship of Devi by Rama and Navaratri special. These are the highlights dealt with by Skandam 3. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Purana Skandam 4 contains 25 chapters with 1416 slokas. Janamejaya's question to Sri Vedavyasa regarding Krishna Avatara, Vyasa's advice to Janamejaya, Kashyapa birth as Vasudeva, stories of Naranarayana, Prahlada and Shuka, avatars of Hari, story of Krishna, Pradyumna, etc., and Krishna Leela. This Krishna Leela, story of Krishna and avatars Hari are all dealt with by in Skandam 4 of Devi Bhagavatam. These are all also dealt with in detail in Vishnu Bhagavatam. Hence, Vishnu Bhagavatam and Devi Bhagavatam are mutually supplementary and complementary to each other. There is no dispute in this. Srimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Purana Skandam 5 contains 35 chapters including 2085 slokas. High level it talks about glory of Devi, Devi Mahatmyam. By the word Devi Mahatmyam we should not get confused with Durga Saptashati or Chandi. Here it just means glory of Devi. It also talks in detail about Mahishasura fought and destroyed by Devi, battle of Kali with Raktabija, praise of Devas, destruction of Dhumralochana, Chandamunda, Raktabija, Shumba and Nishumba. The main topic of Durga Saptashati or Chandi is destruction of demons like Mahishasura, Rakta Bija, Dhumralochana, Chandamunda, Rakta Bija, Shumba and Shumba, and including praise of Devas and Namaskara of Devas. It describes the Devi as Bhavana Sundari. This reminds us the word Bhavana Sundara. Rukmani, in her letter to Krishna through a Brahmin, starts the letter, addresses the Krishna as Bhuvana Sundara by a name not found in Vishnu Sahasranamam. That is the way she addresses Krishna, and here Devas describe Devi as Bhuvana Sundari, and various results, fruits of Devi Puja are also described in Skandam 5. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam Skandam 6 contains 31 chapters with 1885 shlokas. It deals with the story of Trisuran, story of Vrudran, story of Harichandran and Lakshmi penance and joining Srimad Narayana. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Skandam 7 contains 40 chapters and 2247 slokas. It deals with origin of Brahma, lineage of Surya and Soma, story of Yavana and Sukanya sacrificed by Saryati. Stories of Satyavrata and Harishchandra continues in this Skandam also. Places sacred to Devi, Devi Bhuvaneshwari, Parashakti are dealt with in this Skandam, and detailed method of worship of Devi is also described. The important part of Skandam 7, and for that matter the entire Devi Bhagavatam itself, is chapters 31 to 40 called Devi Gita. This is comparable to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, part of Mahabharata as advised by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. These chapters, 10 chapters 31 to 40 of Skandam 7 can be read separately as Sri Devi Gita. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam Skandam 8 contains 24 chapters with 837 slokas. At a high level, it deals with Devi's boon to Manu, Vishnu's incarnation as Varaha, Manu Vamsa, description of earth, Varshas, years, Dvipas, mountains, planets, Dhruva Mandala, etc. Description of lower worlds, Atala, Patala, Vithala, etc. Description of hells, sins, and description of various punishments for the corresponding to these sins, and worshipping of Sri Devi to avoid such punishments and to avoid sins. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Skandam 9 contains 50 chapters with 3619 slokas. This is the longest Skandam of Devi Bhagavatam. It deals with description of Shakti, worship of Saraswati, stories of Ganga and Tulasi, story of Savitri, glory of Devi, stories of Mahalakshmi, Mangalachandi and Radha, Durga, etc., description of hell and various punishments for different sins continues in this Skandam also. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam Skandam 10 contains 13 chapters with 522 slokas. This is the smallest Skandam in the Shrimad Devi Bhagavatam. It deals with story of Swayambhuva Manu, story of Vindhya Mountain and Agastya, stories of Swarochasha, Chakshusha, Savarni and other Manus, story of Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam Skandam 11 contains 24 chapters with 1239 slokas. It deals with glory of Rudrakshams with various number of mukhas, various prescriptions, Nana Vidhi, wearing of Rudraksha beads, greatness of Vibhuti, Bhuta Shuddhi, description, importance of Tripundra, Urdhva marks on the forehead, Sandhyopasana and Brahma Yajna in details, Gayatri Purascharana in detail, and details of Vaishvadeva and Prayachittas. Shrimad Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam Skandam 12 contains 14 chapters with 965 slokas. It deals with glory of Gayatri, Gayatri Japa, Gayatri Mantra, Gayatri Hridaya, Gayatri Kavacha Stotra and Gayatri Stotram itself. It describes the Mani Dvipam, the dwelling place of Sri Lalita Parameshwari Parabhattarika, Chintamani Griha and Devi Yajnas. Conclusion and results which accrue by chanting the Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam. The biggest chapter in Devi Bhagavata Maha Puranam is 12.6 with 165 slokas detailing the Gayatri Sahasranama, 1000 divine names of Gayatri. The significance of this Gayatri Sahasranama is it is given all the names, 1000 names are given in the alphabetical order of Sanskrit letters. That is the importance and significance of Gayatri Sahasranamam. This can be dealt with, this can be chanted with separately also. The smallest chapter of the Devi Bhagavatam is 12.4 with only 9 slokas talking about Gayatri Hridaya Stotram. What are the fruits of results of chanting the Shrimad Devi Bhagavatam? Eligible people do Parayanam or chanting of the slokas of Devi Bhagavatam. Others hear it, Shravanam. But in case of emergency, we think of it, Smaranam. All these three will get the same result provided if it is done with a focused mind with Ananya Chinta, no other thought. What is the result? Straight to Sripuram, the Devi's abode. The Vedavyasa confirms there is no na samshayaha, there is no doubt in this. Sa lokam, reaching the lokam of Sri Devi, Sripuram, Samibhyam, reaching near Sri Devi and Sayujyam, merging with Sri Devi. Let us all do this with Ananya Chinta and get the complete blessings of Sri Devi. Namaskarams to all. Our humble pranams to all our gurus. Namaskara to Sri Devi. Sri Jagadambar Pranamastu.